Why is Facebook has us together? Okay.
Because Facebook has it farther apart than...
Oh. You here.
Than the YouTube does.
That's better, huh? That's okay?
Uh-huh.
Right? I don't know where to look at. You want me to put them both over there?
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, let me try. Yeah, you're watching us work things out.
Because our computer screen is being a little boob.
Yeah, let's start with that.
So we do want to apologize for last week. Last week we didn't even show up. We didn't even let you guys know that we were going to be leaving, that we were going to be gone, that we were even going to be home. I
have no idea what happened. It just went boop.
So we do apologize for that. So, how was everybody's Thanksgiving? Yes, let's go with that. Ours was great. Thank you for asking. It was our very first Thanksgiving at my sister's new house. So we went there to support her with what was needed. And your hands in the way of the camera. So we decided to do that, and it was a 5-hour drive there and a 5-hour drive back. So that's a total of 10 hours to be able to be on the road. And we stayed there for a few days. It was an amazing time. It was fun. It was great. The very first Thanksgiving at that house was just, it was
special.
It was special. We got a lot of do's and don'ts and wills and won'ts and lots of learning experiences for our new house. But having the dogs in the back of the truck and a dog carrier with a tarp over it, well,
it was
cover.
It's a kennel cover, yeah.
So the dogs.
It has zippers and everything. It's pretty cool.
But the temperature did go down to like what? 30 degrees outside while we're driving.
Oh, they were fine.
Yeah, but it's...
They weren't even shivering. They were good. And remember I said that Yeti is a storehouse of heat?
Yeah, that's true.
All Hazel does is lean into them.
She's carrying his child anyway.
It's like Team Jacob, right? Did you hear me?
Yeah, Team Jacob.
Team Jacob.
I heard you. Yeah. So.
Are you just trying to fill space?
Yes.
Don't do that. They don't need us to fill space.
I'm trying to think of. Cancel the track. I am thinking of what I need to say next. Of what to say next. So yeah.
Okay, so you just talked about everything without all by yourself. I had no input. I was not invited to have any input, so now the conversation's over.
So please put your input about Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving?
So should I reverse all of that?
So what would you like to say?
Okay. First of all, I think we'll talk about what the energies have done to us.
I'll let you start since apparently you didn't have anything to say. So.
Well, no, I'm actually beginning to talk about something that you have not addressed, aren't I?
Yes.
Okay.
So please do.
Come here, you. Okay, so these sun flares and the energies that the sun is pushing towards us. I'll be walking through a store and then Kidd will be like, "Mom, you okay? Because I'm lightheaded and I'm losing my balance." It's affecting us in so many different ways, and it doesn't affect me that way all the time, but there is that. And then there's the body pain. Oof, quite a bit of it. To the point to where I actually feel like I'm sick, and I know I'm not. So, what are you doing? You're watching us on your
looking
phone?
looking at the. I can't see the comments from right here because they're just. Even when I
tiny.
squint, I can't see it, so I have to use my phone.
Then I had gotten a sinus infection and got treated for that. But there was a continual effects in my body that had me quite confused because I thought, am I still struggling with this sinus infection? I just didn't know. I was laying in bed and I felt so cold. Now, I normally run very hot, and I'll put my mattress heater on a 1 and then turn it off within a few minutes because otherwise I overheat and I can't sleep. But through these chills, I had it up to an 8 for hours and I could not warm up. But what was interesting, and there's a reason why I'm sharing this in case anyone else is struggling with this, it felt so cold and it was going through my body, like from the bottom all the way up, and I felt it pushing through and pushing through. I've never felt anything like it in my life. That was so wild and weird. And I've come to understand that is Ascension. My body is going through Ascension. So there's DNA upgrades, and then there's the, what would you call it? Energy ascension, the physical. No, DNA would be the physical. So it would be the spiritual ascension. And there was another aspect to these chills, and that was the bones feeling just so cold, like ice cold, starting from the bones and then emanating out. So there's that too. Okay. Okay. Anyways, we would like to know what you guys are
experiencing.
Thank you.
Feeling.
Yeah.
Vibrating it. But there's been a few TikToks I've been coming across, and they're saying your bones are your teeth are crystals, which makes all the bones in the body also part of the crystalline body. Crystals.
We were never told that.
So if our teeth are crystals, it means our bones are crystals, and everything within our body is also crystallining, and we're all vibrating at that level, which is why you're feeling the coldness running through the bones. You got the bone chills because it's called the crystal chills. Your crystals are vibrating and it's chilling.
Wow. I had no idea. That's pretty cool.
So you got that symptom that's coming online. Now, you may not feel the same stuff that Candy's feeling, or the same stuff that I'm feeling, or the same stuff that somebody else is feeling, and you're going through something else. Everybody is going through an assumption symptom that is different from others, because everybody is unique. Everybody has a unique gift, which means that one unique gift that you have that nobody else has is coming to enlightenment, which means it's bringing you as the individual also into that enlightenment. We are starting to step into the 4th dimensional plane, while the 3rd dimensional plane is falling out of our experience. So you guys, if you guys watched the 2 TikToks that Candy posted with what the stars revealed about the dimensions, the 1 dimension through the 5th dimension. The 1st dimension is the conception between the male and the female. And what the stars didn't say before, what they're going to say now, is that through that conception also brings in that soul, which is why it's the 1st dimension, because it brings in that soul being to begin that soul, not a soul contract, but the soul agreement between the male and the female that created that baby, which is why the first dimension starts. And then comes the second dimension with the growth within the body after the fertilization. From fertilization up to conceiving the baby is the second dimension. Once you come out of the womb, you come out of the second dimension and come into the third dimension of living your life. And now that we are ascending higher, since those two have fallen away, the third dimension must fall away too at one point when you start stepping into that fourth dimensional plane. And once you go fully into the fourth dimensional plane, then the third dimensional plane just falls away. And you don't go back to it.
Which is what is happening.
Which is happening to all of us.
Some it has already happened for.
Mm-hmm.
And others are catching up.
So Lisa Transcendence Brown, her third dimensional plane has already fallen away.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they said that she's coming back?
Mm-hmm.
We're going up to them. Remember when we would go live with Jason Q, and every time the stars have always said, we will be going to them. They're not coming to us.
Right. I remember
the souls
that.
are never going to be coming back to us. We're going to them. Which is why we're going to be able to see them, because we're already starting to see things in the corners of our eyes. What I'm seeing personally is beings standing right next to me, is houses, is other dimensional constructs just appearing out of nowhere, more and more. And I get freaked out every now and then because I'm like, whoa, I'm sorry about that.
He was walking through the kitchen and he literally jumped to the side. And I said, what was that? And he goes, there was someone standing there. And the same thing happened when I was driving. There was a person in a magenta jacket and what did I say? Blue pants.
Yeah.
And then they were gone.
So once we step fully into that fourth dimensional plane, the third dimensional plane is going to just disappear. And we're just going to disappear out of every third dimensional person's experience. So if people have just been leaving your experience, just poof, they're gone. Well, they're in the fourth dimensional plane. And you'll be getting to them later.
Well, there's also, what about the idea that if they've moved into the fourth dimension and the person who dropped out is still in the third?
That's also a big possibility too.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, which is why it's very important when you are on TikTok, when you're on Instagram, when you're watching YouTube, when you are paying attention to these people while you are reaching the fourth dimensional plane, you know that you're going to the fourth dimensional plane, but you decide to make a smart ass comment to a third dimensional being? Guess what's going to happen, honey? The third dimensional plane is still going to be running simultaneously side by side with you until you figure out when you want to let all that shit go, which is why it's very important to not try to convince anyone anymore of anything, because that is what the life, what's going on in the world is for. That is their awakening now. We're not here to awaken them anymore, because it's our time to go higher into the dimensional planes. It's our time to go further in our lives and focus upon what we need to do for ourselves now, not for all these other people.
Yeah. It's time to put on your own oxygen mask.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just leave them where they be, because whatever is going to happen is going to awaken them anyways, because remember what they said, where we go one, we go all, which means that where we go one, they go all. So they're going to be following us behind us, just in a slower pace.
And then there's the. Did we do a video on the all the parallel universes?
We did a YouTube video, not last week, but the week before, of how to get into the different parallel universes of the emotion, of the
Okay.
etheric motion, and the difference between the etheric motion and the energy motion, because
So-
they're both totally different things.
So does anyone need a recap on that? And that was done 2 weeks ago, right?
That was done 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, so we were at Thanksgiving, and I said, "Kid, we didn't go live on Wednesday," and he goes, "Oh, fuck." I said, "We didn't even tell our family." It was crazy. But we were sick. I was dealing with a sinus infection. You were dealing with pneumonia, right? And we were trying to get better for that. It just swept our mind. And yesterday, oh my goodness, what?
Ray says, "I like your hat." A Muko. It's a Akuma. It's the opposite way, Ray. It just shows it backwards.
Let's see. What was I gonna? Oh yeah, yesterday. So yesterday was a really busy day. We had clients. We had all sorts of things going on here at the farm, and I told my husband that I would make him banana
bread.
I found a recipe that's a banana cakey bread. banana bready cake. It was both. And
by the way, this is an Ascension symptom.
what are you talking about, Willis?
What you're going to describe is an Ascension symptom.
So I didn't want to put the cakes in the oven when I knew I only had a certain amount of time before a client. And so I left it on the stove, and I got everything ready. And then I got distracted, and then I got more stuff ready. And so the batter was sitting on the counter waiting to be put in its dishes and into the oven. And then I talked to a kid. He's really good at baking. And my cakes come out either too moist or too dry. And so I asked him to take over that. And he was looking in the oven for the umpteenth time, and he goes, "I wonder why. Look, it's all jiggly and it's brown on top. Why is that?" And then he stands up and he goes, "Did you put enough flour in here?" And I went, "I didn't put any flour in there." And we're both like, "Fuck." So I said, "Is it salvageable?" And he goes, "I have never tried to salvage something like this. I wouldn't know what to tell you." He said, I said, "What would you do?" He goes, "I would normally just toss it and restart." I'm like, oh, I made 3 recipes. So I made a choice to add flour. And I said, "How much do I add?" And he goes, "I don't know. Just play it by ear. Make it look like
cake batter."
Cake batter. I'm like, really? That makes sense. So I added it, and then we stuck it back in the oven, and it turned out beautiful. So that was amazing. It was amazing that I didn't have to throw it away. It was amazing that everyone loved it. It was amazing that it worked out when you wouldn't think that it would. My God. So if you ever forget the flour, just remember my story.
If you ever forget the flour, just remember you are ascending. If you forget anything, it's part of the Ascension symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the Ascension symptoms. Now remember, not everybody's Ascension symptoms are the same. Everybody's Ascension symptoms are different. And
You might remember the flour and forget the sugar.
yeah. Just add the sugar after you cook it. It's fine.
I don't think that would work.
No.
No. But a lot of people want to act like they are a cake with sugar when they're a cake without sugar or a cookie made without sugar.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a good
But
lesson right there.
if life hands you lemons, just make lemonade, right? So what you do is that you just make a really, really
Sweet
sugary
frosting.
frosting and just dunk that shit.
I love it. So there is salvation even with that.
You can make cake balls and just dunk them in. Dunk and dry, dunk and dry.
I mean, Oreos, right? The cookies are not sweet at all.
No, they're kind of sweet, but yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense.
So you could even make it into a Oreo smush. Make the sweet inside and smush it with the two outside.
Oh, so Yvette says I hate wasting. I would have just added flour as well. Yeah, Ray says a lot on the brain. Tanika, oh, there's a lot of stories you have told that I remember. Did you wrap it in a little black bag by chance?
My black bag story is the best story ever. Even years later, and we're all still talking and laughing about it.
It's been 4 years now? Coming up to 4 years. Oh, that's crazy. Time just flies by.
Yeah, seriously.
So,
just a side note. We took our dogs to a park and got into a conversation with a man. He said his dog nearly died, and his vet put his dog on a type of dog food that you can only get a prescription for. And I'm like, really? Prescription for dog food? That's just, that rings so much of corruption. It really does, because every animal should be given the gift of health, just like people. Anyways, okay, off that high horse. I asked him about the dog foods. Okay, so why did this dog food make such a difference for your pet? And he goes, well, because it's cold infused. What's that? And he goes, they don't cook it. So they use a cold process to infuse the food. And so much of the ingredients or the nutrition is not lost. So that started me on a search. And I found this one dog food that is sold at a pet store not too far from here. And it's a type of cold infusion. And the dog food, you know how kibble is dry and crumbly? This is not moist. It's definitely kibble, but it's got moisture all the way through it. It is the most interesting thing. And so we started buying that. And my dog is losing weight. And she was getting pretty fluffy there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being a Belgian Malinois, yeah.
Yeah,
they're skinny little dogs.
Not her. Mm-mm.
No, she's fat. And
Fluffy.
she's pregnant.
Well, we think so. Anyways, what do we know? So it's making a difference. And so there is dog food out there that is making a difference for our pets. And I just wanted to put that out there because it's been feeling so forlorn, just like hopeless. Do we have to feed our dog raw? How the hell do we do that? So, yeah.
Well, we've been doing our cancel. The try. There we go again. We've been doing our absolute best to feed them the way that we could with the raw. So we've been learning about that. But apparently we weren't putting enough vitamins, anything with the vitamins that they need as well.
Well, and we were doing a lot of chicken too, and chicken has hormones, right? If you buy the really cheap stuff, and so I'm they've got really good kibble. It's doing well for them, but I want to include raw. So like today I gave them the wings of a chicken that is organic. I put that in there. I put a slice of red beef and I cut it up, and then a slice of raw liver and I cut that up, and then some eggs, and a scoop of vitamins that I got at the pet store. What else? Just some other things. And have you guys heard of that NAD that's being promoted all over TikTok? NAD.
NAD, N-A-D, yeah.
Yeah.
NAD.
So I looked up NAD and the different properties in it, and I said, "Is this safe for dogs?" Absolutely, it's safe for dogs, and it helps with arthritis. And I'm like, okay, that's going in there. So we're just making all these little changes that we're becoming aware of. Awareness. My awareness has just exploded. I was talking to my daughter about that last night. And I said, whether I didn't want to look at certain things or I hid from them, I don't know. But I'm becoming very aware of everyone around me and their needs and how to interface them lovingly and appropriately. And that's a big shift for me. Huge. Okay. Your turn, guys.
What was that one thing with the numbers? What's this?
Graviola or something?
How do you spell that?
I just butchered it. I have no idea. Just a minute, I'll look it up. I think I did the search on healing number codes.
Grabavoid.
Grabavoid.
Grabavoid numbers. So it's kind of funny. We had a session with one of our really good friends yesterday, and for the longest time, he's been asking, "I want to hear my guides. I want to hear my guides. I want to hear my guides." And just these last couple of weeks, he's been having dreams of these Grabavoid numbers, and they were just numbers. He thought that they were just numbers because he didn't know what they were. And then when we had our session yesterday, the stars told me to tell him those are the Grabavoid numbers. He goes, "Oh, those are the Grabavoid numbers," because what he saw was a 30 like on a wall. And then at the bottom of it, bottom right of the number, there was a small 3. And the star said that is 30 by the power of 3, which means that it's 303030. And 30303033, and that is a Grabavoid number for him. And he was like, "Oh, that makes sense." And then there was another number that he was given, 5s and 0s. I don't remember the sequence, but that was also another Grabavoid number given to him by his guides. And he didn't even know that those were his guides that were speaking to him. So he finally has had an experience of how the guides have finally been able to get through to him of how to talk to him. So now he's going to try to focus upon how he can do it while he's awake and not while he's just asleep. And the reason why that I'm bringing this up is because, like what the stars have been saying, if you want to listen to your guides, you need to focus upon the numbers, the single numbers, the single pictures, the single words, any type of thing that is being sent into your experience that is in neutral aspect, that does not take any part in positivity or negativity, that is just there, it means it's from your guides. It's a message from your guides. So when you focus upon that, you focus upon the energy, then you will know how to start to see the difference between what your guides are saying, what your mind is saying, and what are the other spiritual beings that are not your guides are saying. Those are trying to disrupt you. So you have to be very open and aware, like what Candy just said, being aware of your surroundings, being aware of who you are. But once you start learning one thing, do not go 10 steps ahead and want to learn something else. Focus upon the one thing at a time. Once you get your answer to that first question that you've been asking, I want to listen to my guides. Focus upon what it is now, what your guides are saying now, because, or what you want to learn at that time. Do not go 10 steps ahead, because that is what gets us lost in the ethers. That is what gets us lost in figuring out what we want to do next. Wait, what was I learning before? You start forgetting. And then you're regressing. You're going backwards in a way of pushing everything else out because you want to learn this new thing, and you're not focusing upon the one thing that you're meant to learn at that time. I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention, that it's very important that you stick to one at a time at the moment and don't go 10 steps ahead.
One of the numbers that he received was a palindrome. Did I say that right? Palindrome? Yeah.
Palindrome?
Where it was the same backwards as it was forwards. That is pretty intense as well. Because let's say a number, right, has a healing sequence. You start from the beginning and at the end, but you reverse it as well. And now at the end is the beginning. What is powerful in the beginnings is just as powerful as the end. Flipping it back and forth, back and forth.
Kind of like the 303003.
Yeah, that's a palindrome. Yeah.
Kind of like the name Bob.
Or from one of our favorite movies, Arrival, Hannah.
Yeah, Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
H-A and then A-H.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah.
Hannah.
I could spell your name backwards. Hannah.
Hello,
Hannah.
Anna. Yes.
So,
Ava.
Ray says you have a lot of space above your head and you guys are cut out from the side of the videos. That's because we're on our phones.
Yeah.
Our screen is not working at the moment, so we're having to figure things out with this at the moment. So we couldn't just leave you guys hanging another week. Sorry. So we had to figure it out somehow, some way.
I made a phone call because we have warranty on our monitor, and so gotta wait for that to be taken care of.
Yeah, it's not working.
I know. Is that about it? We weren't gonna stay on too long just because, I don't know, because we're all cut off. And we have a lot of space above our head. Oh.
Jennifer says this format allows you to be discovered by people who don't follow you already.
What is she saying?
This format allows you to be discovered by people who don't follow you already.
Really? Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's on a phone.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Thank you for saying that.
And then Marjik says, I am glad you are feeling better.
Thank you. I am too.
Oh, she says it's like scrolling on TikTok.
Really? Oh. We do a lot of scrolling on TikTok.
We do
so
a
we
lot
get
of
that.
scrolling on TikTok, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's just been a lot that's been going on. So we're going to be making more videos every time that the stars have something to say. So she's going to be posting it on her Facebook and her TikToks.
We can't go live on TikTok yet because it's not big enough. My other account that you guys helped us to grow, the High Vibes Up, it got deleted. Yeah, they banned it. I was on point, sharing truth.
Mm-hmm.
They did not like it.
They did not like it.
No warning, just you're gone.
Yeah.
I don't care if your High Vibes Up.
You shared the wrong thing. Goodbye.
That could have spewed and got real messy.
I don't even know where that came from.
Oh, excuse me, I gotta blow my nose. Can't breathe.
Oh. Well, the stars have nothing else to say at the moment. That's what he said. Oh. Yeah, I don't remember anything else that the stars have had to say about the world events. I think they went quiet for a little bit about that. There was that one. Was it about the pardon?
The pardon?
The pardon.
For
Jelly Bean's pardon to his son? I think there was.
What are you asking me? If you should share that?
Yeah, I don't think that we should get into anything political at the moment.
Oh, I can share this. So, hang on a sec.
Something from Lee Stymie?
No, babe. I copied it and I just wait a minute. Yeah, it might be on this phone.
Oh, that's awesome. Good day, guys. This is from Carrie Ann. Love you. DHS has approved for the children to come home to their mom and me. We had to take my daughter's case to the Senate. They'd be home sometime next week.
Oh.
Possibly by weekend. Oh, that is awesome. Congratulations, Carrie Ann. We are so happy for you. That is amazing.
That's amazing.
And yes, thank you everybody else that has sent in prayers and that has sent in those energies to be able to allow that to happen. It took a collective, but it also had to do with a lot of the ascension that is happening as well.
Of course.
So while you ascended, your powers became stronger, and while you were in that, I wouldn't say prayer mode, but that mode of energy, energy conducting the right energies to go forward, allowed it to awaken certain things within this experience.
That's amazing. It was just a whole collective of things because yes, there were prayers. Yes, we all stood together with her. Yes, you gave powerful words to obliterate the control that the entities had on this whole situation. I mean, it was just everything, and it was her love that smashed strongholds.
Well, like what the stars say out of the Bible, when they said the faith of a mustard seed can move mountains. Well, the love of a mustard seed can rule kingdoms. So if you show that little bit of love to that little bit of situation, it can rule any type of kingdom within it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this was. It was how do you describe that? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, what I was going to say was I was scrolling through um, a group. Something caught my attention, and it was lumps, really big lumps on her dog's arms, both arms, and she said, "How can I help her?" And she said what it was. I believe it was cancerous. And someone said that she learned this from a lady who was doing some work on her. I cannot remember what it was. It almost reminded me of some sort of ultrasound type thing, but not quite like that. Anyways, this nurse was explaining that when she had cancer, she was told to use poke tincture on it. And by the time she got into the doctor, for the lump to show the doctor what was going on, the lump was completely gone. And that to me is just so powerful. You can get poke root at the poke root herb, probably on Amazon or at an herb store, and you can also make it yourself using alcohol. And there's another, it's non-alcoholic, and I can't remember at the moment what we would use. You used to use it for your vaping.
I have to look it up.
Okay. And then it takes about 6 weeks for the properties of the alcohol or this other stuff to pull all the medicinal properties out, and then you can start using it.
Vegetable glycerin.
Yeah, that. But powerful stuff. Or you could just buy the tincture yourself from Amazon and have that on hand. I am going to buy the herb and then make the tincture. And heck, if you guys want to do it with me, we could do that too. So
I'm wondering if that would be good for whatever that my body is still holding on to.
Well, let's look up benefits of poke root.
POKE, right?
Uh-huh. Huh. The first thing I come on is the deep state shit.
Oh, sorry. It looked like sacrifice something to me.
In herbal medicine, poke root is sometimes used as inflammation in breast conditions like mastitis. Mastitis occurs when breast tissue becomes inflamed. Let's see.
So we have a few questions. Dee's asking, does it help with the skin big C topically? Question mark. And Marjik wants to know, can you drink poke root? So if you make it into a tincture, yes, you can take poke root, I would believe. And yes, I would believe that you can take it topically. So if it's going to be killing the big C in the dog's lump, and that lump is under the skin, and she's doing it topically, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's doing it topically.
And it's getting under the skin, so I would believe that it would help with the big skin C. Skin C.
Yeah, but do your research, okay? You need to learn about this and have it in your mind, and be comfortable with using it. LMNOP.
PO.
There we go. 183, 184. All right, let me just read this, you guys. Poke root. Bodily influence, alternative, anodyne, antibiotic, anti-inflammatory, anti-rheumatic, anti-scorbutic, anti-syphilitic, anti-tumor, catheteric, emetic, parasiticide, and parts used are roots and berries. Poke root demands a strong statement as to its use. In the first place, there is the attractive due to its great variety of uses for achieving a quick popularity. It is beneficial only if used in a very precise manner. The fact of the matter is that in review of the positive beneficial uses that has been accredited one could, I'm having a hard time reading this, one could easily come to an erroneous conclusion that is that the herb could be used for almost anything and should be. This is not the case due to the very powerful potency that this herb possesses and that great care is demanded when considering its use. Poke root is a powerful emetic and purgative. That's makes you vomit, right? Emetic. Only small amounts should ever be used and mainly in combination with other herbs. Poke root's preparation is the drying process requires special expertise. According to some herbalists, poke is considered to be a good blood and lymphatic purifying herb. It is said to be excellent for the treatment of cancer, tumors, arthritis, and degenerative diseases, but should be used with respect and preferably in combination with other herbs and in the formula with the proper herbs that will combine to tone down its powerful effects and blend its stimulative, detoxifying qualities. It sounds very powerful.
So basically, if one tincture says to take one full dropper full, this one is more just like a few drops compared to a full dropper full.
Poke root is highly regarded by herbalists for its cleansing and stimulating effect upon the glandular system. Ooh, that's big. And is used for a variety of glandular ailments from swollen, inflamed, and congested glands to disorders of the breast, including cysts and tumors. The herb comes from the root of the poke plant. It has cleansing and healing qualities that will affect the whole body. The poke plant is especially good for dissolving tumors by cleansing the tissue through the blood, vascular, and lymphatic systems. This will also result in the cleansing and removing of boils, sores, etc., and it's been used to treat some venereal diseases with good effects also. Poke root has a variety of uses basically due to its tonic effect upon the lymphatic system. By cleansing the lymphatic system, it works as a stimulant for the body to help remove collected waste material congested in the tissues throughout the body, while also improving lymphatic and blood vascular elasticity in such organs as the liver that has experienced hardening due to its congested conditioning. Poke root has been found useful in reducing inflammation, making it helpful in the pain control of rheumatism. Rheumatism is some form of arthritis, right? Poke root helps with fungal infections and is also helpful in removing the causes of scabies, eczema, and acne internally, as well as to be used externally as a salve. Poke root is also useful as a poultice to treat abscesses conditions such as boils and sores, and to relieve difficult urination by using a poultice over the bladder area. It is also a useful poultice for breast tumors and caked breasts. This herb is used as a drastic measure and should not be used as the herb of choice when there is another milder acting herb that will meet the need. This herb does all the things that has been written here, but its action is far too harsh for anything less than a dire emergency, and then should only be used as directed by a highly experienced herbalist or knowledgeable health professional. So,
Don't forget to read that part. That's a really important part right here.
caution, this plant is very powerful in its action and should only be used in very small amounts in herbal combinations and in knowledgeable fashion under professional supervision.
So if somebody decides to make a salve and use it, because Tanika's like, I would think it could also be made into a salve, the poke root. If you make it into a salve, then I would suggest to use it once every 3 to 4 days.
So here's another suggestion, and this is something I always do when it's a new herb, and this is a new herb for me. I've heard about it, but I have not delved in it yet. So what I would do in my research is I would research other, like I would look on Amazon poke root or on the web poke root and see what products come up and how they use it with other herbs. Why do they use it with those herbs? So I would research all those herbs as well and find out why they're putting it together the way they're putting it together. Now remember that when ingredient lists are shown, the most ingredient is the first ingredient and the least ingredient is the last ingredient. So keep that in mind when you are looking at why these companies use the herbs that they do and where it would be in the list of ingredients based on how much they would actually have poke root in there. Does that make sense? So that's never stirred me wrong when I did that. It's a lot of research, but it's worth it. Piper Ray says, I'm hoping you can answer a question. I was in meditation, I think, and was seated. Are you listening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seated crossed-legged on my couch. My eyes were closed. I touched the cereal bowl with my fingertip, and I heard a massive loud
loud boom. I opened my eyes, and the milk was on the ceiling, 8 feet high. The bowl shattered into 6 nearly symmetrical wedge-like shapes. This is not a natural break of a bowl. I have asked a yoga teacher, yet they can't explain it. I can send you a photo of the bowl if that helps. Her energy just, her energy was really strong at that point.
I lost that Piper. Piper, I'd like to know what made you reach out to touch your bowl. What was it that you felt while you were in that meditation? And how did you know to touch it? Were your eyes open to see it?
Her eyes were closed, she said. She just reached out to touch her bowl. Just touched the rim of it. I'm wondering.
My eyes were closed. Okay.
First off, what type of cereal was it? Is it good for you? And if it's good for you, are you sure it's good for you? Is that something that you should be eating at this time? Because it could have been a guide that made it explode as well.
Well, that's a very valid point.
Because her guides would also use her energy to make it explode like a bomb. Like, what if that whatever that she was eating was poison?
Well,
And she was in meditation, which means that anything could have happened.
remember in The Matrix when Neo went to go see, what's her name? You think that's Area Brady? To make it up with
You think
baking
that's
cookies.
your breathing?
Or whatever her name was.
You think that was
the
a girl that you looked at?
The auric or you know what I'm talking about, right?
You have the auric, the hyperauric, and the subauric?
No, babe. The one he went to go visit to see
Oh,
if she
the
was gonna
oracle.
the oracle. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so while he was in the waiting room, he was watching someone, a child, bend the spoon.
Yeah,
And the child said, "You bend."
with your mind. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You bend what's around it. You don't bend the spoon. That's what the child said. You bend the universe around it. So that's what I'm getting.
That she bent the universe around her bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And the bowl couldn't take it because what she was bending was fourth dimensional plane energy. And the bowl is a 3-dimensional object.
Well, that makes sense, but I don't have an explanation for that. But that makes perfect sense. I just know what I'm being shown.
Well, I would go with that. What you're being shown is completely true. Because she was tapped into that fourth dimensional plane.
Or higher.
Or higher.
I think it's higher. Piper, don't stop doing what you're doing. Accept this as your powers coming online. And continue to explore. It's kind of fucked up. You had to clean up all that cereal off the stove. but bravo, babe. Bravo. I mean, that is beautiful that you don't let it scare you. Don't go there. No, and yeah, you're coming online.
Oh, another thing that the stars wanted to say. Remember when they said, don't take 10 steps forward when you're trying to learn something new? Because if you try to take 10 steps forward, it will scare the shit out of you. So how I explained it to our friend is that when I was on crystal meth and also still under the effects of the roofie and stuff, my perception of life, I was able to see certain things. I went from 0 being 0.0 all the way up to 100 in spiritual sense. I was able to see the fourth dimensional plane. I was able to see the ants. I was able to see beings on that fourth dimensional plane during the day while I'm outside walking at night, and I'm seeing all these shadows doing different things. One of them was leaning against a car talking to another shadow while other shadows were doing stuff in their room. Kids were playing outside, and all I saw were the shadows. And that scared the living shit out of me. Which is why you don't take 10 steps forward, because you don't know what you're going to get yourself into. Something kind of like what Piper just did. She took a major step forward and went into something that could potentially freak you out. Do not freak out. When you decide to take those 10 steps, 100 steps forward, just know something is going to happen, and something big is most likely going to jump out and scare you or try to scare you. So if it does, don't be afraid.
By the way, Paul Crute says the herb should be avoided during pregnancy as it's a powerful emetic. So again, make sure you do your research. Don't just jump into it. This is a powerful herb.
Same thing as usnea. Usnea is a powerful herb too.
Mm-hmm.
People also know that herb as old man's beard.
Look at you.
Yeah, I learned that from you. So be very careful with your herbs and the makings of them and what you're putting with them. So yeah, I would say that Piper took 10 steps forward when she did that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was necessary for her to be able to see the potential that she has in the power that she holds.
I'm excited for you, Piper.
So,
wow.
Remember the saying, with great power comes great responsibility. How you're going to be using this power is up to you, but just remember that this is a great power and you have just tapped into what you could be doing out here in this universal plane.
What's her name? The Russian gal.
Anastasia?
Yes, Anastasia had the power like that.
Oh yeah, where she pushed beings away. Don't touch me. The security guards or whatever that they were.
She didn't push them away. The beings that protected her did. They flung them across the earth. And the Russian military never bothered her again because they knew they couldn't. So, yeah, she's getting there. Piper's getting there.
Well, think about it. Every single one of us is going through Ascension symptom.
Mm-hmm.
And every single one of us is learning to tap into one of the 18 senses that we have. More of this other senses, because we can tap into the 6 senses of our physical being. But what about the 6 senses of the mental and the 6 senses of the spiritual? Those are starting to come up online.
Mm-hmm.
And those are more powerful senses than our physical senses. Like my sense of sight is happening and I'm seeing beings again. I'm seeing things just, being there. I'm starting to see, like you as well, that person with the maroon jacket and the blue pants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So all the senses are coming up online.
Yeah, pretty cool. Well, I think we're done. And I'm cold. I want to go change and get on something warm.
Okay.
Do you want to stay alive?
Nope. I'm done. I need to use the restroom anyways.
Oh, you do?
I need to use the restroom.
I'm so glad I don't have to help that anymore. We love you guys. Again, if you didn't watch the beginning, we addressed not showing up last week and said sorry. That was weird. It was weird. And we didn't think about it until afterwards, but we were already visiting family, so it just wasn't the time to go live. So we wanted to just bring it up this week. We love you, and looking forward to next week already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Susan. Susan enjoyed the show.
Thank you, guys. We love you so much.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk soon.
Yeah, we will talk soon.
Mwah! Okay, finish?
Mm-hmm.
Finish.
Ah. Okay.